Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka your friendly neighborhood spoiler man, and in this video we're breaking down Spider-Man Brand New Day. With a brand new trailer just being released, I thought we'd do a video breaking down some of the biggest unanswered questions about the movie. Throughout this video, we'll be going through the teaser's biggest mysteries and hopefully clearing up what you've heard about the movie. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the inclusion of Grey Hulk. This is something that's been rumoured for quite a while now, with it being reported as early as the start of the year. Posters then started leaking as well, which showed the Hulk had a slightly grey colouring to him. Though the company behind them came out and said this was simply a printing error, this did nothing but add fuel to the fire. The trailer then leaked with the Hulk looking grey in it, with this being down to the pre-visual effects. So the debate raged on. Now in our breakdown, we did talk about the two sides of the coin and how it might just be a number of errors. The printing could definitely be the case, and the finished trailer showed that the Hulk was indeed green. But rumours have persisted, and due to the Hulk returning to his more savage form, they could be going back to the character's roots. Now in case you don't know, the Hulk was originally coloured grey, and this was due to ink prices. If you go back to the old copies, you'll see him in his big grey form, and this was then homaged by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale in the book Hulk Grey. I have that book here, with it kind of going back to the character's roots and exploring why Hulk Grey. Before the Hulk was green, there was Hulk Grey, as it says on the back. Now personally, I do think it was likely just errors, and that the stuff with the trailer was, all just pre-visual. But who knows, Marvel might even end up turning the character grey, and we have seen how they've changed effects in trailers before. Hell, even the original Homecoming trailer has loads of shots of Spider-Man with Iron Man that aren't in the final movie. But the scoopers have walked back the reports though, so yeah, I do lean more towards the Hulk being green throughout the movie, but if he is grey, I think that would be such a cool touch. They did a big Fandango thing yesterday where the cast kind of touched upon it, and judging by the poker faces, I think the Hulk might be grey, mate.
Hulk is green.
Is he though? I don't know. Why did you say this?
There's other colors.
There are.
Yeah, there's other colors of them. Yeah.
I didn't say that, by the way. They said that. So
Look at you.
I'm getting hot.
You poor dear. I'm sorry.
Either way, the pair fighting creates such a good dynamic as both are battling the monster within them. Spidey even remarks that the Hulk's gotten bigger, which could play into the character mutating as well. The Hulk represents losing control, and this is all something that could happen with Peter. Now this video is sponsored by the DC Studio Showcase podcast. It covers everything across the board in the DC universe, from comics to movies to shows and beyond. It's available on the HBO Max YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts, and is hosted by nerd commentator Frankie Smith and pop culture pundit Coy Jandro. Every episode delivers in-depth conversations with guests straight from DC Studios. They break down the latest projects, dive into the comics, and cover everything a die-hard DC fan needs to stay ahead of the curve. With Supergirl and Lanterns right around the corner as well, they're going to be going full throttle all summer long. They go through films, the comics, and the behind-the-scenes stories, and all the must-reads dropping every single week. It's the perfect companion piece if you're deep into the DC world. The podcast is as good a sidekick as Robin, and they'll highlight the comics that you need to grab and what to look out for every single week. The David Corenswet Nicholas Hoult episode is an absolute must listen as well, and it'll go into so much information on Superman that you didn't know before. The podcast goes deep on the industry, the art, and everything that makes DC special. And the guest list is stacked. We've got people like James Gunn, Jim Lee, Sean Gunn, Katie Sackhoff, and a ton of other huge names from the DC universe. So if you're a fan of DC, do yourself a favour and go and check it out. Head over to the HBO Max YouTube channel through my link below, or use the QR code on the screen right now and simply hit play. I genuinely cannot recommend them enough. Massive thank you to the DC Studio podcast as well for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into the breakdown. Now the second big question is what's really going on with Peter's mutation. The new trailer heavily emphasizes his genetic evolution, and we've got his powers going to the next level. He's developed organic webbing, has black insect-like eyes, and is seemingly stronger than he's ever been before. Tom Holland has actually described this as his spider puberty, with the pressure of the job making him evolve. We do know that the web shooters will have a green light on them too, and that he's going to try and suppress this much like the Hulk does. Banner, of course, uses his wrist inhibitor to stay human, which helps suppress his mutation. Now this might simply be Peter evolving, as the first trailer said that all spiders have 3 life cycles. However, I do wonder as well if it's going to have us go into the man-spider story, which comes from the comics and animated series. I think that having Peter fully morph into a spider would be such a big way to take things, especially since the film's about him wrestling with his identity. Peter Parker, no more, is what they're kind of tackling, with him fully embracing the spider persona. I think they could take that to the next level though, and show that in him becoming more like Spider-Man, he becomes a man-spider. Doing this would just add so much horror to the story, because yeah, it's a spider. It's scary in general for some people, not me, because I'm big. I always get the spider out of the house. I am the biggest guy in the house. But yeah, I think if they did that, they could really do some body horror stuff as well. And yeah, we might even end up with a man-spider trilogy. If not, then the Venom storyline's also perfect for this as well. The symbiote is currently out there in the world, and the black eyes are akin to what Tom Hardy's version gained at certain points of his films. So either or could really be in the place to enhance his abilities, and yeah, hell, give us a man-spider Venom, mate! Give it! Do it now! Do it! Now, another big mystery around the movie is, well, not really a mystery because I think it's pretty obvious now, but the big question is, who is Sadie Sink playing? We don't know. Now, based off the recent trailer, it's pretty much all but been confirmed to be Jean Grey. Hell, even when the movie was announced, there were rumours that Jean would be in the movie, and Sink being cast just seemed to cement this. We also know she's got a several picture deal, and therefore won't just be a one and done villain. Red hair, green and yellow colour schemes, they all added weight to the theory, and yeah, seeing her powers in these new looks, it got to be Jean, mate. I'll put the house on it. Not only can she possess extremely powerful figures like Hulk and Scorpion, but she's also able to freeze people in place. Blasts like this have been done by Jean in the comics and TV shows, and yeah, I think all the signs are pointing to the X-Men. Now, we are going to be fair, mate. We will be fair and talk about how she may be Shatra, who's a spider queen that possesses psychic powers. Jean is portrayed as an antagonist in the teasers, and she's clearly threatening MJ. So yeah, I don't know if that's in character for Jean, even if she's been pushed to her lowest point. To be fair though, who it is characteristic for is the Phoenix, which is the entity that's of course buried within her. So they may even set up the Dark Phoenix storyline here for down the line, and a third time lucky, mate. Just do not get Simon Kinberg involved in any way. I beg you. Also wonder what Jean's real goal is. Personally, I think the film will show her as being persecuted and have damage control constantly on her back. This is likely pushed her towards having to act against the law out of necessity. Sort of like Sylvie in Loki, where the fucking TVA is just always chasing her down. If that's the case though, in order to survive, she just has to keep running, and ultimately this will get people hurt. So I do feel like the film might culminate with her going to the X-Mansion, where she'll finally find a home amongst the mutants. This will mean that she's no longer on the run and can finally be at peace. I think Tramell Tillman's character will likely be revealed as the baddie, and he could even be using villains like Scorpion as part of his arsenal. In the comics, Matt Gargan was given a suit by J. Jonah Jameson, as this would be a way for him to go and get Spider-Man. So Gargan being armed up to fight for damage control could also explain why he's already out of jail. What do you mean it's been 9 years since Homecoming? Oh God! The teaser also ends with Spider-Man fighting SWAT team members that I don't think are possessed by Jean, but yeah, maybe Spider-Man turns against them to help her. Now, how Peter's able to withstand her abilities may tie into his spider sense, which is potentially also evolved. We talked about this in our breakdown of the trailer, but just in case you missed it, I brought up how No Way Home kind of gave the answer. There, Peter was pushed out of his body by Doctor Strange, but his physical form still kept him from danger. His spider sense was working on autopilot and making it so that Strange couldn't grab the box. So I do wonder if this spider sense basically autopilots his brain and means that he can't be controlled by others. Also wonder how this is going to play into the grander scheme of things, and it'll likely heighten the stakes for Peter. From what we've seen, he's been fighting lower level criminals and just kind of being the street level neighborhood Spider-Man again. But as powerful as Scorpion is as well, he's not this like Omega level threat that Jean could bring in. I do wonder how the landscape of New York's going to be explored, and if this will be due to the fallout of Kingpin leaving the city. The power vacuum could lead to all the baddies trying to seize control, and this might be why the Hand's involved as well. They seem to be in a damage control prison, further hinting to Peter going against the organization. But I think the constant attacks could heighten the necessity. You might also notice that in the trailer, Punisher seems to be unaffected by the wave as well. Though there has been the theory that he's been put under control, you can actually see that the wave stops right before it hits him. If you look at the people behind him, you might also notice that they're running away from it. So I think the blast stops just before it hits Frank, rather than him having some ability that also makes him immune. I think it is important that Peter is the only one who can do this for the plot, and if you look at the wave, you can see that it stops just before hitting him. Now the next big question is, will MJ and Ned break the illusion? Well, in our previous videos, we talked about how we think they'll find the key to the city. We know from the trailers that Peter gets presented this by the mayor and that he also has this in his apartment. So I think the pair might discover this. However, I also think that subliminally the spell is something that both are kind of sort of breaking out of. Ned has a full wall of Spider-Man pictures and is trying to find out who he is so he can thank him. But I think deep down, he's probably doing it because he just wants to be back with his mate. As for MJ, her new boyfriend's rumoured to also be Boomerang, and it could show that subliminally she longs for a man in a mask. I think if Peter takes her swinging throughout the city, it might also jog some memories and that she might start to remember things. I also wonder what the broader implication of the movie is going to be in terms of where we leave things with Doomsday. From what we can gather, Peter won't be in it, so I wonder if the film ends with implications that remove him from the picture. If you've been paying attention to the updates on the film, then you'll know they've said test audiences were divided on the ending. Apparently it's supposed to be quite dour, and yeah, might leave Peter in a peculiar place that means he can't be in Doomsday. The biggest unanswered question though is, who the fuck is working in security at Sony? And I just want to make it clear, it is not my uncle. But yeah, it seems every week something new's leaking, and I actually feel quite bad for them because I can imagine behind the scenes it's a fucking nightmare. There was even rumours that the entire movie had been leaked and was being sold and stuff, and it's just like, at this point, mate, like, come on, give the guys a chance. I know I do spoilers and stuff as well, but I don't report on everything I hear, and just going crazy out there on the internet. It is the wild, wild west. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts below. What do you think of the trailer? And please drop a like and a comment too. If you want to follow us on Instagram as well and keep up to date with what we're doing, then make sure that you check us out at Heavy Spoilers. Did you know as well that members of the channel also get early access to videos like this every single week, and if you click the join button you get at least one breakdown a week before anyone else. All costs just 99 cents a month, that's less than $12 a year, like three cups of coffee a year, it's the price of, and you get like an hour of entertainment a week included for that. I don't know, I'm not selling it very well, but thank you if you do it. We also have our merch store below as well. That's got lots of Spider-Man themed stuff and big discounts as well. So lots of stuff. The reason I'm a YouTuber is because I was a shit salesman. But moving on. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the video as it is, mate. So you take care of yourself and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.